top of the league, supporting the grand vision I see. Spotlights on me, riding lyrically, cause I float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I smile when I speak, as I ride in the beat. First black prime minister delivered his speech. Then one day, my people are free. A true poet like me is simply what the world needs to see. Fresh air.
Welcome back to the Suncorp Super Netball Show. We are into segment 3. We've just done the Giants and now we've moved one court across to training for the Swifts. I don't know how they don't spy on each other, maybe because they're both nice teams and polite that way. And the leader of that team is joining us right now. Briony Akle, thank you so much for taking the time. Your Chargers are training hard in the background, at least when you're watching them.
Hopefully they're training while I'm watching.
Good vibe amongst the camp, no doubt. It was a difficult game. You're down the premiers, and that must feel pretty good.
Yeah, it was a fantastic feeling, and obviously we had a great start, but they gave me heart attack material again, week after week. We're in the same boat, but it was great to get the win against the grand finals from last year.
Talk about the start. You've got to mention the start a bit more in depth. 19-9 in the first quarter. Is that something you talk about before you go into games?
Yeah, we obviously talked about it because I think we've only been up once at quarter time, so that's been a big focus for us to be focused before the game, because as you can tell by the warm-up, they like a good laugh. So getting them focused and prepped has been a bit of a task and something that we've worked at, and I think that was the result that they did it against Collingwood and again last week.
Maybe you should talk about the second quarter this time around.
Yeah, maybe.
So you're talking too much focus on quarter one, 19-9, 18-12 turnaround. That must have been. What did you say at half time? That's my question, really.
Yeah, I just said we were still in control. So we always knew a team like Lightning were always going to come back. They've got too many quality players not to come back and address their issues in their camp. And we knew that, Steph came back into the game and probably played magnificently for him after quarter one. So we obviously spoke about just being calm and control, and that we were ahead, and to play with some composure and, just keep enjoying it.
If we paint the picture for the rest of that game, so the second and third quarter you went quiet, and then when it was on the line, you fought like you have been doing so well in those close games and winning them.
Yeah.
In the off-season, was that a big area of discussion, because it's something Swifts didn't do well last year?
Yeah, I think every single game after the game by the media, it's still an issue about finishing games, and my response to not winning bonus points, or my things, we're actually finishing games this year as opposed to last year, and we want to be that team that in pressure can continue on and win. So for me, it's probably those second and third quarters about winning those now more than the end result. So yeah.
We're in an interesting position, kind of fresh air for the Swifts after last year's 3 wins. Then the way things ended with Rob Wright probably wasn't fantastic for the team. We know they didn't take that too well. We've seen that over and over. And
yeah.
Then a big job for you, and I'm just interested to know, now that we've had some time, you've had some time with the team, looking back, how did you cope with coming in that environment? And obviously it's worked well because you've already surpassed last season's wins. It must be good to have that now in the bank.
Yeah, I think, it's always difficult if you get it doesn't matter who the new coach is coming in, you've got to get used to each other. And for me, they'd had a really good foundation. We've still got Anita Keelan working really hard with me, and Megan Anderson. So the foundation was there. So I didn't come in trying to change the world. It was just doing little things to stay positive and thinking it doesn't matter who you're playing. The fact that individually we've got some fantastic players. So for us, it was just building on that confidence in each and every one of them, rather than the bigger picture. It's just getting that inner confidence, and I think we've just slowly done that game after game, and that's just built confidence in them to be able to look at each other and know they'll play for each other.
As a new coach, did you come in with an idea in your head of where you wanted the season to go? Did you want more wins than last year? Did you want to make finals, or was it only ever going to be good in winning the grand final?
No, it was absolutely winning more games. I just, winning. I think they lost 5 games by 5 or less or something. So for me, it was getting those 5 wins that they never got. And I seriously think they can take this title out if they believe in themselves for, the next 7 rounds of netball that we've got to go. They can do it. And for me, it was about wins. It wasn't just about being in the competition and making up the numbers. It was about being competitive week in and week out.
What's the one thing that you think you need to improve on? Like if you had to pinpoint it to one to get yourself to that grand final in the second half?
It's probably just the inner belief to go, if the other team do something well, which they're going to do well, it's saying that, okay, well, the other team are going to get intercepts, we're going to make mistakes, but it's how we come off the back of that that will win us games. So at the moment, the other team does something well and we go into, oh my gosh, panic mode. So, and that's not a secret, everyone can see that. So that's just building on, if the other team get an intercept, big deal, get on with it.
the bonus point hasn't really been your friend. There's so many close games, so it's kind of come down to you share the bonus points each time.
Yeah.
Other teams have banked so many, and that's why we see the Firebirds, for example, above you on the ladder with one less win still. So are you in the camp of we shouldn't have the bonus point, or are you more of a let's tweak it?
I think it needs to be tweaked. I don't think in any sport or any code that they have teams that are winning more games than other teams, below. So for me, I think I'd like to probably see a bit more emphasis on the actual win, the points on the win. And for us, we weren't even winning the close games last year. So I can't focus on everything, and my focus is actually, well, if we win the game at the end, that's one step ahead than we were last year. But yeah.
All right, we have a couple of social media questions before we let you go back to training. So thank you to everyone, as I always say, who got in touch with us. Leanne Waddell, what do you say to your team when they're well ahead and they let the opposition come back into the game? I wonder if she wrote that just after last week's game.
Second quarter, did you write that question?
What do you say when they
that's probably
turn it around?
I think I probably do go into the old cliches of stick to the process, and the process is one of our biggest words. And not getting too panicky. This team doesn't respond to getting yelled at, so it's just more staying calm.
Have you tried that?
I've tried that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Individuals at worst, not as a group. So yeah.
Okay. Well, this one's from Nicole. How do you work out when to let your team pull themselves out of trouble on court or to call a tactical timeout?
I think when the opposition is 7 goals on a run, and probably time to call a timeout. But I try not to call the timeout. So we've been trying to battle through those tough moments, but when you get the opposition 7 ahead and without a stoppage, it's time to call the timeout.
So is 7 your number?
No, not really.
No, okay. So is there a certain number of goals that might happen in a row?
It's more gut feeling, to be honest. Yeah, it's that feeling out. And the girls know it as well. So yeah, it's a gut feeling rather than a number.
All right, we've run out of time, but thank you so much for the chat. I'm sure you've got some people to yell at.
Yeah.
Or,
not yell.
No, not yell. Talk quietly out. Thank you very much for your
Thanks,
time.
guys. Thank you.
We're sitting here, Cath, on the side of the court for your old team. How have things changed? You're looking back there. How have things changed since you were training?
Well, they're not working very hard. I'm sure I used to
run.
No. So I think because I played for such a long period of time, early days we used to just run 10, 15 laps and sit down and stretch for half an hour. So you'd do nothing in a big chunk in the middle, then you'd start to train. And then over the years that changed to a more dynamic warm-up, and so you'd be on the go the whole time. What I think they do a lot more of now is the prehab stuff. So when we first got here, there was a lot of stretching and jumping over little hurdles and all that stability stuff on knees and all that stuff.
Back then.
So much of it. And it's funny because I said that to Briony before. It's that wasn't around in our day. And she goes, that's maybe why I had 2 knee reconstructions. So there's a lot less injuries going on at the moment. I think that's a real big difference.
Plenty has changed since the days of long ago when Cath Cox was playing for the Swifts. And to find out exactly what they've been doing in training, why don't we just ask Maddy Proud to join us? The coach has stepped out. Maddy stepped in. We got you out of this part of training.
I know,
so
thank you.
Congratulations for that. But how has the vibe been in camp, and how's training been today? Obviously a big win over the Premiers.
Really good. You could have got me out earlier when we were doing a bit of agility work and fitness stuff, but that's all right. But no, the vibe's really good. All the girls are really pumped, and obviously a good win on the weekend, and now looking forward to the Firebirds, so very exciting.
Do you get flogged after a win, or does she take it a bit easier on you, or was it all about focusing on the next week at training?
Yeah, you don't really have much time to bask in the glory. Even yesterday we were meant to do a bit of PA, and I was wanting to watch the game because I was wanting to relive, the glory, and then Bray said, no, we're looking at Firebirds this week, so we didn't really have any time to celebrate or dwell on the win, but I think that's what the nature of the game is now. You're kind of always looking forwards, and then we can celebrate once we win that grand final.
Well, can I quickly ask you about that whilst she's here? You can just pipe down for a minute. So Sam Wallace did get the MVP, but your game was spectacular. Liz Ellis said he should have been MVP, so there you go. She would know. So 43 feeds, 1 intercept, 1 deflection, but she said in defence you were just unbelievable in absolutely everything. Happy with your own performance on the weekend?
Oh yeah, I mean when you got someone like Sam under the ring, 43 feeds is kind of an easy thing to do when she's holding so strong as she did, and I think that pressure all the way down the court, the girls really did lift their game this week, and I was happy to play my role, whatever that was, and happy to get the win.
Can I just point out that was it last week? Bye week we had I don't know if you watched the show, but we had a show on, and we got asked to pick the key player from each team, and one of us picked you and one of us did not. Now, who do you think picked you and who didn't? The other one
I'm going to say you picked
because I brought it up.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I got slightly mocked.
But she's a shooter, so that's why she'd pick Helen. So
Yeah, I
that's
got
all right.
lightly mocked for that,
They
and
stick
then
to
you
their
came
own,
out with an
that's all
MVP
right.
performance.
I wouldn't go
She's
as
looked
far as
after
say
me
mocked,
this week,
but-
though, so that's all right.
Thank you very much. Thank you
Well,
very much.
Thank you.
Looking ahead to the Firebirds, well, back in round one, big game.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was like a grand final, that game. The
Yeah, so we
atmosphere
celebrated
was
like that
amazing.
as well.
Yeah. So 6 games or so have gone past, and you've learned a lot about it. Do you feel better prepared coming into this game against the Firebirds than you were back in round one?
Absolutely, and I think we've grown so much as a team over these last 6 games, and I think every week we're getting a little bit better. We've had a few hiccups along the way, and are still really striving for that full 60-minute performance as we've haven't been able to see yet. So they've got Big Remelda up on the end, and so we've just got to make sure that we do all the hard work before then to make poor Sarah's job a little bit easier.
Well, you mentioned Big Remelda, but Gretel Tippett since
true.
the first game has improved out of sight. How do you tackle the two of them?
And that's the thing, and that's credit to Firebirds. You can't just isolate Gretel because then she'll just do everything. So I think we've just got to play one-on-one and shut down everyone down the court. And I say that if the ball doesn't even get into the goal third, then we're all right. So
Well,
we've
you
just got
probably
to-
will be.
Exactly. So
that's
we've
a
got to
great
do a
game
bit
plan.
between us and centre and wing defence, and the mid-quarters coming down the back. I mean, we've had Helen and Paige have been getting intercepts most weeks. So hey, if they get all the intercepts, then we don't have anything to worry about.
Good point.
Stick with us for the rest of the segment, because I want to ask you who got the tips better, because we're doing tips in a second. But right now, let's have a look at the round 8 fixtures, and we start off at 3 p.m. On Saturday with the Lightning and the Giants. I'll be up at that one. That's at Sydney Downs. Can't wait for that. Saturday night, Fever and the Thunderbirds. I think we're pretty solid on our tipping for that one.
Yes.
At Perth Arena, 7 p.m. And then the Sunday games, another version of the battle, Margaret Court Arena. It's the Magpies and the Vixens. I just literally have no idea what will happen there. And the Sunday game, of course, is the most important game, which is the Firebirds and the Swifts. That'll be at Brisbane Entertainment Centre, 3 p.m. They're all going to be great games, no doubt. Let's have a look at the tips, though, now. And I have gone with, let me explain again. You got in first again. I am behind, so you've gone with the Giants to beat the Lightning, the Fever to beat the Thunderbirds, good call, the Vixens to beat the Magpies, and the Firebirds to beat the Swifts. What do you think of that, Proud?
Yeah, not happy about that.
No.
We like being the underdogs, so we're all right with that.
Well,
Actually, do you know what? On that point, I did say to your coach, Briony, when I was chatting with her, that between the two of us, we did say that it depends on the Swifts team that rocks up at the moment. Inconsistency's not been... Well,
Yeah.
it has been an
Yeah,
issue
it
for
has
the
been an
team, but
issue.
obviously something you're trying to rectify.
Yeah, absolutely. I think now we've had 3 on the trot, so that's a good sign for us.
Yeah.
Something we haven't sort of done for a while now. But yeah, we've sort of said since even last year that we're still looking for that real consistent 60-minute performance. And I think every week we're sort of getting that little bit closer. And being on the road this week, we actually haven't won away yet. So it's been a real big focus for us to do all the little things during the week and then try and show up Sunday and ready to play.
That'd be good.
And I believe-
I'll change my tip.
Yeah,
No,
do
you
it
will
now.
not.
It's
No,
like
you will
scared.
not, because I tipped the Swifts and I need that one. I also tipped the Magpies over the Vixens, and I tipped the Lightning over the Giants, because I feel like I'm going to take 3 back off
Controversy.
you.
You
Perfect
could
round
go
time.
anyway.
Well,
Absolutely.
that's the point, isn't it? And that's
Yeah.
the beauty of Suncorp Super Netball this year.
Yep.
Now, before we wrap this one up, and we've got our host challenge next, it's plug time for your thing. Take it away.
Dun, dun, dun,
Centurions,
dun.
etc. Go. Plug it to the camera. That camera.
Well, so Centurions, the show is at the Regal Theatre in Perth on Tuesday the 30th of October. Tickets go on sale on Monday, so that's this Monday coming, the 25th
Yeah.
of June, from Ticketek. And I can't really explain the show to you.
Can you say somewhere
it is
people can
impossible
go
to
at
explain.
least? Is there a website?
Yes,
I say that, not knowing if there is or not.
Centurions.com.au, and then if you have a little look at a few of the videos, you might get an idea, but it's a bit of everything. We encourage people to drink a wine or 2 before you come, so we're funnier. That's all I can
Do
say.
you have one before you get off?
I will be this time, yes.
Kath, Liz, and Sherelle. I have no idea what the show's about,
But come and see, it's entertaining. We've sold out 3 shows before this. So,
Really?
yeah.
a lot of
And-
family and friends.
Yeah, a lot of them. 1,100 of them.
1,100 of them. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. All right, we'll wrap it up there. We've got the host challenge up next. That's going to be something embarrassingly different. So stick around on the Suncorp Super Netball Show.